Here's why I prefer flash over just natural light. Now, this seems to be a really large topic right now, and it's not against anyone specifically or anything like that. But after the Jason and Irene Rudniak, hopefully I said your last name correctly, collaboration and the discussion of flash versus natural light, what's pro, what's amateur, I got questions about it as well because I talk about flash a lot. I talk about modifications and stuff to use, and I really just wanted to kind of give my thoughts on it because not including street photography, I mainly use flash for my weddings and events because that's what you really should be doing. It'll help you actually get your work done properly. Now, the one big stigma and thing that I wish that would go away is the labeling. Photography, the industry, is very cutthroat, sadly, and especially, you know, people on YouTube and everything like that, is labeling people amateurs, pros, and that's really about it. You don't know what the hell you're doing, or you know what the hell you're doing, or you're a keyboard warrior and you're just trying to crap talk someone. Just because you only shoot natural light doesn't mean you're just an amateur. As long as you know what you're doing, you're a professional. You just know what you're doing. If you're getting gigs, you're getting your work, you're a professional. And also, just because if you think you know flash and you know one thing, also doesn't make you a professional. You could be an amateur with flash, and just because you kind of know the basics doesn't mean you're necessarily going anywhere. And once again, I'm not digging at someone, but the natural light thing, for the most part, and I've talked about this over years, can be very limiting because you're really kind of stuck to shade and you're getting overexposed backgrounds. That's not necessarily always a good thing. A good thing would be a combination of using both through maybe modifiers, fill flash with a speed light or studio strobe, getting a ambient light with a sun being a perfect hair light or a kicker, and bouncing flash in to kind of overpower it as well. Makes for gorgeous portraits and everything, and especially when you're out in the field, you need to, learn off camera flash. It can be a very good thing to know. And I think that's one issue with a lot of people out there who only say they're natural light photographers. Once again, I'm not saying amateur, pro, is that you can be afraid to learn flash. It can be intimidating. Some people might say that flash is technically easier than natural light. While in a sense, in an environment, maybe because natural light's already there and you just react to it, you meter and you're good to go. Flash, you have to know things. You have to know what the ambient light and your shutter speed means comparing to just using flash. To someone foreign to this whole thing, it's not easy to learn. So I don't necessarily agree with that statement. Flash is definitely something that's intimidating. It intimidated me for a while, but once you know how it is, you could pretty much build and modify any setting that you want to even go out in natural light to improve that as well. So I think that most people who really want to step up their game and to really learn lighting at least should know how flash photography works, or at least how to achieve something with flash, either be it on camera or off camera, which would probably be the best. That way you really understand everything and you have a well-rounded knowledge of how to light something. Once again, not everyone has to use flash. Totally 100% agree. But if you're going somewhere, if you're doing these weddings and events and these portraits, it's something you should know. Because the other issue that comes with natural light stuff, once again, that also depends if you're outdoors or you're indoors with a big light with some hard light or some soft light coming through with these big windows, is also what do the catch lights look like. If you're in the shade, there's not much going on in the eyes right there. If you want to kind of pick your game up a little bit, grab a reflector. Once again, that's just natural light. But if you shine a little bit something in the eyes to give it some catch, you're going to look good. If you're going to, diffuse your flash to make it look something, you're going to make it look better. You're going to get good quality light. Because if you have a flash or something that you can use, you're definitely going to get some catch lights in it. And that's what really makes someone stand out, is the eyes are very, very important to these types of images. So to me, I feel if you are limiting yourself just to being a natural light shooter, you are kind of limiting what you can do with your business and earning money. If you're just praying that you can use natural light for weddings and stuff like that, and you really just throw a flash on your camera and it does TTL, I think you are hurting yourself, because at a reception, you're not using natural light because it's basically pitch black outside at night, and all depending on the venue you're at, it's also not going to be the best thing. So learn how flash works. Even just manual flash. Don't worry about off-camera flash in that regards. Just learn how it works. That being said, when I do street photography, of course it's natural light. Most people do that, and that's what I like to do for fun, and that's what I share a lot of my work at. But with weddings and stuff like that, there's no way I could just be a natural light shooter. That's actually kind of ridiculous, and it just doesn't look good, and you don't get the proper shots, especially at night. If you can get these awesome, beautiful lights in the background and kick in some flash just to light the, you know, your subject, you're going to get a hell of an impactful shot than just hoping light hits something and you can try and guess from there, and you raise the shadows and posts and you go crazy from there. The biggest issue to me is this labeling thing, and that someone either has to be a natural light only or a flash user. I think you can be both, and then you can go your way. Like, the whole big thing of photography is knowing the rules and breaking them. As long as you know them, you'll know why you're breaking those rules to get what you need. And I think it falls the exact same thing for this discussion as well. This whole natural versus flash thing is that I think you should know flash to then know why natural light works for you. Natural light can be a very beautiful thing. But if you think that you're going to shoot at high noon and stand in shade and have a well-exposed background as well, you're mistaken, because it doesn't really work like that. And high noon with shadow eyes and everything doesn't look good unless you really kind of kick something in there, or you just stand in the shade and hopefully there's not dappled lighting and everything. Learn flash. I really like flash photography, and that really opened up what I could do with a lot of my work as well for clients. Natural light is absolutely gorgeous and you can do a lot with it, but to me it can be a bit limiting, and you're limiting what you can do if you just rely it. I know flash and stuff does, you know, with the triggers and the softboxes and everything, can cost a bit more money. There are very affordable options out there where natural light, even if you just add a reflector into something like this, can definitely up your game as well. But I want to hear you guys and girls' thoughts on this. Is natural light just for amateurs? Is there a medium? Is this labeling thing a big deal, or is it just overblown? Are you a natural light shooter, or are you a flash only shooter? Let me know down below your thoughts on this topic. I'd love to interact and hear what you're doing. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, this isn't against, you know, a Jason or Irene or anything like that. I do think it's a very important topic to discuss, in my opinion, because, you know, some of the comments were extreme for no reason on their videos, and I'm just like, what, like, why? Like everything, there is a place for anything in this industry, as long as you know why you're using it and why you're doing it.